Welcome again in another important session of a materia medica. In today's session, we are going to discuss one of the important polychrist remedy, which is Aurum Metallicum, which is stated as AU and common name is a gold. Now, the most characteristic aspect of the Aurum is, however, to guarding his flock. Now here flock is nothing but the large number of people or the crowd, and Aurum is likely to be take care of all of them or likely to take responsibilities of the people who work under his guidance. Aurum cannot be let down the person or the task that has been entrusted into his care. This theme is beautifully portrayed in a nightmare of the Aurum patient who repeatedly saw his people falling down. As soon as Aurum is unable to live up to his expectation or responsibilities, he is inclined to drop everything. Eventually, he will drop himself, preferably from the great height. So, the uh, theme portrayed over here is nothing but the phases of the Aurum patient, means the very early phase and the end phase. We can say that the healthy Aurum patient and the disease Aurum patient is portrayed over here. In a first line, there is an healthy state of the Aurum patient, means if we look at the Aurum person who is in a healthy state, we can see that the person is too much industrious, person is too much workaholic, so much duty bound, and he is likely to take responsibilities of the people or the task which is given to him. Okay, he is give his 100% to his task or even to the people who is under his guidance or the care. Now there is an also a fear to the Aurum patient that what happen if the he cannot reach up to his expectation or cannot do the things which is under his responsibilities. Okay, so all of this thing goes into the wrong direction, then the disease state in the Aurum patient occurs. Okay, now there is a rubric which is in a complete repertory: mind responsibilities elements from aggravation. Means in a Aurum patient, generally all of the complaints are start from the aggravation from the responsibility. So in a case taking, we always used to ask one of the important question to the patients that आपकी लाइफ में responsibilities कब से start हुई थी. Okay, then many of the patients stated that कि वो जब 15 साल के थे, 14 साल के थे, 16 साल के थे. बहुत सारे पेशेंट कहते हैं कि मैंने मेरी पढ़ाई खुद से की है, मैं घर में सबसे बड़ा था इसलिए सबकी जिम्मेदारी मेरे पे थी, या मैं घर में सबसे बड़ा था इसलिए मुझे ही सबका एजुकेशन करना पड़ा, उनकी शादी करनी पड़ी. सो दिस सिम्टम्स स्टेटेड दैट द इन पेशेंट लाइफ देयर इज एन रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी विच इज जनरली फ्रॉम द अर्ली एज. ओके, so this is one of the important symptom which we can think in a Aurum patient, or these symptoms suggest us about the Aurum remedy. Okay, now the mind responsibility elements from unusual aggravation, unusual. So what does it means actually? So in a many patient we found that the patient is elder in his family, and due to the only this thing he have to take the responsibility, even he don't want to, or even the familial background is good, he must have to take responsibility because he is a elder in his family. So he have to take responsibilities for of his mother, father, and even to the his brothers, sisters, whatever it will be. So these unusual responsibilities make patient responsible, and due to the continuous responsibilities of all of them, he goes into the that particular aggravation phase. Now mind responsibility is strong too, and this symptom have only the single remedy for 2 marks is a Aurum. And for this symptom there is a cross reference. What it is? So duty sense of duty strong too. Okay, means we already stated that Aurum is a so much duty bound. So generally what happens, these patients are so much duty bound. Duty bound means he is likely to be on time for his work. Okay, means the means this person is a teacher. We can say that he is so much duty bound. He, if the school is on 9, he will be there on a 8:55. If the school is on school ends on a 5, he will came out of it after 5. Okay, so he is too much time punctual, he is too much duty bound. He does all the work which has given to him. Okay, and he do all the work with so much of care and the response in a responsible manner which has given to him or which has given under his care. Okay, they feel they have to organization intact. The employee have to keep their job and they must protect the organization from ruin. They also want to hold up their own position as a leader. So from this line we get to know that the Aurum is having all the leadership characteristic. Generally this patient must want to protect the organization, not just his own job but also the job of the people who work with him or under him. Okay, so he take all responsibilities of all of them, he must fight for all of them, and he just not think about himself but also the people who work under him. Okay, maintaining responsibility, they feel very responsible for the task they have taken on. They are real workaholic. Work often ameliorate their pain and depression because they are very fulfilling their duties. Okay, so these things suggest over there that they are very responsible, or that we have already discussed this, that they are very responsible person, and they generally used to take their work so much serious manner. Okay, they are so much workaholic. Work often ameliorate their pain, means these people are usually लाइक कि उनको घर पे रहना पसंद नहीं है. अगर उनको कुछ प्रॉब्लम भी होगी तो मतलब उनको कुछ तकलीफ भी होगी तो भी वो घर पे रुकते नहीं है. ही लाइकली लाइक टू गो ऑन अ वर्क. अगर वो वर्क पे जाते हैं, अगर वो काम पे जाते हैं तो उनकी जो तकलीफ है वो भूल जाते हैं. एंड मेनी टाइम्स पेशेंट सेज कि मैं जब काम पे होता हूँ मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है, बट व्हेन आई केम रिटर्न टू होम एंड जब मुझे कुछ काम नहीं रहता तो मुझे तकलीफ होती है. Okay, so this thing suggests that he likely to bury in a work, he likely to fulfill his duties, and there is symptom for this, that industrious mania for work, and in which the Aurum is generally for 4 marks. Okay, they aren't usually very religious because they have managed very satisfactory on their own. On the other hand, they may be a extremely religious, feeling God has given them their task. When business goes downhill, they may get depressed and start to pray. They ask God for help and they feel God is punishing him. Okay, so this is the two extreme sides of the patient. Means we can say that this is the syphilitic remedy. We know that in a syphilitic remedy we found the two extremes of the patient, means either it's too normal or either it's too bad. Okay, so in this patient generally Aurum person is not so religious, in a, we can say in a state uh, in which he is doing his work, or he is too much in his responsibilities. He is not too much religious at that time, but when his particular task or when his company or when his business goes to downhill, he generally start praying to the God, and he generally suddenly goes into the too much in a religious phase. Okay, and he thinks that the God is punishing him. He thinks that such particular work given to him is by a God, or the God given him a task of that particular thing. So many of the time patient says that I love to do a God work because भगवान ने मुझे वो काम दिया है. ऐसा वो मेनी ऑफ द पेशेंट कहते हैं कि मुझे भगवान ने काम दिया है, मैं उस काम को आगे बढ़ाना चाहता हूँ, मतलब भगवान का काम करना मुझे पसंद है एंड मैं उस काम को आगे बढ़ाना चाहता हूँ. सो दिस इज द sentences from the patient we can see in a Aurum patient. Now the rubric is mind, religious affection, mania of. So the mania is nothing but the person is too much into the godness or too much into the religious things. He is too much into the religious activities. So this rubric suggests that the he is into the religious, and for that particular state the rubric is mind, religious, affection, mania. The aurum is for 3 marks. There is again one more rubric, the mind, religious, affection, mania, praying for all the time. So if we have some patient who prays for all the time, who is too much into the religious things, who is duty bound, who is doing his tasks very wellly, so in such patient we can think of aurum, and for that particular rubric aurum, okay, which is a single remedy for 3 marks. Inability to maintain organization means they are fail. The responsibilities may get too heavy in the end. They are simply not up to carrying such heavy burden. Other people opinion or advice are always ignored, but when their inferior turns against him and accuses him for a negligence, he get terribly offended. Okay, so this thing suggests that the now the aurum disease aurum state has been started. So what happened, क्या जब वो किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में हो या वो किसी बिजनेस में हो, एंड वन ऑफ अ सडन अगर उसका बिजनेस फेल्स होना स्टार्ट हो गया है, वन ऑफ अ सडन उसको जो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज दी गई है वो उसको बहुत हेवी लग रही है, एंड वो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी हैंडल नहीं कर पा रहा, एंड आफ्टर दैट जो उसके साथ जो काम कर रहे थे, जो उसके साथ काम कर रहे थे, अंडर काम कर रहे थे, वही उसके अगेंस्ट कुछ बोलने लग जाए तो वो उसको सहन नहीं होता, एंड ही गेट ऑफेंडेड टू हिम, एंड इतना सारा जो बर्डन है वो झेल नहीं पाता, एंड आफ्टर दैट द ऑरम फेज हैज बीन स्टार्टेड. डिप्रेशन सेट्स as soon as they can't live up to his own expectation. They have failed and it's all his own fault, and they have become suicidal. Okay, so due to the business failure or due to the things which he thinks into the mind that वो उसको जो टास्क दिया है वो पूरा नहीं कर सकता, या उसकी जो एक्सपेक्टेशन है उस पे वो अगर खरा नहीं उतरा, तो he goes into the depression phase. He thinks that he goes into the failure, and after all of these thoughts and all of these conditions he becomes suicidal. So now we are going to discuss where we can found this aurum patient, or where in which profession we are generally found this aurum patient, aurum person. So in a leadership, in a king, who is king, director, manager, president, chairman, captain, and top sportsman and women. So all of these professions are showing us that these people are too much hardworking. These people believes in a hard work and generally achieve all of these place, all of these uh, mm, professions by the hard work. So he generally not likely to be any place where it can achieve easily. He generally like the places where he must have to do hard work, have the some responsibilities on him, and he do very well for this particular thing. Now the generally a right-sided remedy. Aurum is generally a chili. Generally, he used to cover all the miasm, sora, psychotic, syphilitic, and it's more towards the psychosyphilitic. This is the most important remedy in a cases of a chronic pathologies such as cancer, CKD, Parkinson's, rheumatic arthritis, psoriasis, and many more. Apart from the diseases, if the patient have below elements, this remedy helps very beautifully. So this is a practical thing which I have observed in when I have practicing with many homeopaths. So this is the general elements from means general elements from of the aurum patient, means when we have the patient uh, of any particular disease condition, and before that there is an thing that if the person is having a financial loss, and due to the financial loss the certain particular pathologies has been started into his body. So we can think of the Aurum first if the person is having responsibilities on him, and if the financial loss has been occurred, and due to the financial loss the particular disease state has been started in his body, so we can think about the Aurum over there. Okay, now the second thing is a business failure. Now if the patient is running a some certain business, and due to some point, and due to the some reasons the business get fails, and after that the particular disease state has been occurred, so in such state we can think about the Aurum. Now in COVID state, we get that many of the people having a business failure, and many of the people have lost their businesses, lost their jobs, and lost their work, and after that the particular disease state has been occurred in him due to the loss of these all things, business and all that. So in such patient we can think about the Aurum. Now the again the one of the important thing that mind anxiety business about. Okay, so in this particular rubric the Aurum is for 1 mark. Okay, so generally we found that in whole of these things that Aurum is generally a so much responsible person, and who is likely to take responsibilities of all of the uh, person who came under in his care. And due to some point or due to something, if he unable to take responsibilities of all of the person who is under his care, he get into the disease state. Okay, so this is the total scenario of the Aurum patient. This is the total and one of the important things about the Aurum patient. So remind it, collect, take a note of it, and apply it in a patient in your OPD and see the results. Okay, so until then, have a good day. Bye bye.